I need to be the boy, you're crazy. Got me in the rough, you look as good as hopeless. I just wanna give you my house, give me season. This tricking, she really couldn't. It's just funny. I need to. I see the first I thought it's soft. Back home, I know Prezi, I'm Obama. Don't the drama. Some down Madonna. Me, Jamba shit. Staying the night, girl, you promised it. I hide in the cave like Osama did. I'm calling them back in the diamond district. You meet me like dollars that are owed to you. Me being sleep, some push. I mean, your body, I put a range on the rose. All right, guys, we're gonna get ready to go, man. I'm gonna give it at the 2-minute mark and we'll get started. Last day of NBA, baby. Last day of NBA. Last day. And it's gonna be a heater, guys. It's gonna be a heater, an absolute heater. All right, man. Welcome to Blowout Alert. Another 30 seconds and we'll get going. Is they mad that you ride around in a Bentley? All right, last day NBA. Last day NBA. Are we going live? We're going to get diving into it. 10 seconds. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm fucking pumped to bring you guys Blowout Alert, Sports FBI. Let the sharp do the investigating, give you the plays, let you know where we're going, where the leans and the sides that we're taking today. All right, today's breakdown is going to be a little different, man, because we got the playoff contention going here. You got the Thunder with the 1 seed in the West. You got the Pistons with the 1 seed in the East. Spurs locked up 2. Celtics locked up the 2. All right. Out there in the West, we do have a battle for 3-4. That's Nuggets and Lakers battling for the 3-4. The reason this is important is it's seeding, right? The Spurs have pretty much said they're rolling out their healthy guys. They want to finish strong going into the playoffs. The Nuggets, they get to decide what they want to do. Who do they want to see in the second round of the playoffs in this seeding? It would be potentially the Thunder or the Spurs. So if they win this game, they'll see the Spurs. They'll be on the Spurs side of the bracket. Now, if they lose, they're going to be on the Thunder side of the bracket. I think if I'm the Nuggets, I would prefer to be on the Spurs side of the bracket. I think they match up better with the Spurs, not the OKC side. So I think it's an important win today for the Nuggets. I feel like it's too many points, but what they're telling us here on the books is that the books believe they're going to rest these guys or they're not going to play the full minutes. There's something going on with that line. Jokic for plus money at 20 points. I mean, Jokic is an automatic guy for 25 almost night in and night out. And for him to be pretty much around minus 130 for 15 and plus money at 20, it's got me a little hesitant to go put money on that game at the moment because plus 11.5 feels like way too much. And I think everybody would agree. Plus 11.5 going up against the Spurs with a pretty healthy Nuggets team is way too many points. Something's going on with that line. Something smells, and I don't trust it at all. So I'm going to wait to see who they roll out. And if it is indeed the starters here in about 2 to 3 hours when those final lineups come out, I will go ahead and I will hit that plus 11.5 very, very heavy. So that's where I'm at on that. So as it stands, plus 11.5, I feel really good about it. If for some reason they do rest and that line shoots up, I'll just fade the game. If I knew right now they weren't playing Jokic or they weren't playing Jamal Murray, I would say take the 11.5 on the Spurs. I think that would be a given. But at the same time, unless this isn't, at the same time, it's the way I look at it. If they're not going to play both sides of the starters, I don't want to bet this game. And there's a lot of games I don't want to bet today. I know that there's always going to be a winner or a loser, but you don't need to bet the games today. I feel like the better play is alt line. Like, let's say the line is 227 in the Mavs game. Alt line that down to like 221 and take the over. I feel like there's going to be higher scoring games today. Bench players are going to be involved. You're going to see guys like maybe Brandon Williams from the Mavs have a good game. You're going to see some other guys have some really solid showings that aren't involved in matchups that are meaningful. So maybe you could look at like the Celtics, maybe a couple guys like Bailey Shimmerman. Like maybe that guy has a really good day rebounding the ball and shooting a couple extra threes that he normally wouldn't. So there's going to be some guys that are going to be involved coming off these benches, and we'll get into that here on Blowout Alert. Once again, what Blowout Alert is the best data and analytics sports app. If you want to be sharp, if you want to have know-it-all information, you want to look at hit rates, you want to look at first baskets, and you want to give yourself an edge on plays that you want to take, this is the app to download. You can get it for free, guys. Lock in, register, and then decide if Elite is for you. I am an Elite member. This is my app here, built along with my partner. We highly preach this to anybody who's sports betting. You shouldn't be betting blind. You shouldn't be using the FanDuel information. Nobody look, if you're running a business and and you're trying to take money from me, right? And that's what we're trying to do to FanDuel is take their money. They're not going to feed you clean information. They're going to only give you what they want to give you. So make sure you're doing your research, guys. I know it's still information that they give you on FanDuel, but I wouldn't fucking trust it. I would go with Blowout Alert, and there's other ones out there that compete with us, like StatMuse, Action Network, and they don't. What's the other one? Outlier, but they don't hold anything to the amount of information we are giving you guys. So let's dive into it. Let's get going. First game up that I want to talk about here, and I want to jump straight into. I guess we could talk about this Magic game because the Magic are in a race here. They're 45 and 36. And then the 76 are 44 and 37. So what that looks like here, guys, on the side of the playoff contention is we've got a battle for the 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's more about the 8th and the 7th seed for the Magic and the 76ers. It's seeding and what side of the bracket they're going to go on. Raptors are pretty much clinched up at the 6th seed unless something crazy happens today and some weird losses happen, which I just don't see happening. They've got the 6th seed pretty much clinched up. Raptors could compete for the 5th seed against the Hawks, and the Hawks are not in the easiest matchup today. The Hawks are taking on the Miami Heat, who also are playing for home court advantage in their matchup in the play-in against Charlotte. So they're most likely going to have the play-in against Charlotte, right? So let's go on down here and just take a look. I already said I kind of like Bailey Shimmerman today for potentially something out of that game. And this is our DFS stuff, right? This is going to give you decent value. These all should hit or get close to hitting. But I like to go in here into the props because this is where the true value, the sharp money lies. For me, I like De Silva today. The PRA at 11.5. If you can get De Silva at that, I know he only had 2 points and 3 rebounds, but look, he normally always gets around 10 points most of the time. And his rebounds are normally between 3 to 4. That's a fairly easy number for him to hit. I think he can get this 11.5 straight off of points. So that's something I would really keep an eye out on. Banchero's PRA. I really think he does well here today. I think he goes over. Once again, this should be a fairly competitive game for the Magic side of things. So I'm not a huge fan of taking the big PRA because they could go out to an early lead with the Celtics sitting most of their starters here, as you can see. Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, Vucevic, Jaylen Brown, Ketta, Jason Tatum, Derek White, all out. So it's going to be on guys like Shimmerman and a couple of the other guys off the bench. So just talking about bench players, I obviously think that Bailey Shimmerman and Luka Garza should be two of the guys you should be watching today. If there's something I wanted to take off of Luke Garza here, we're going to go into his stats here and look. So points, rebounds, assists. His PRA is something else that I would keep in mind because he does have a tendency to get into double digits fairly often. Now, if we want to go and take a look at his hit rate and what he's hit overall most of the season coming off the bench, it'll show us here. His points and assists, his blocks, all of those things. Last 10, he's been over 10. His line's gonna be inflated today for one. So this may not be as relevant today, but I do think that his points and assists are something to keep an eye on if they give him a line somewhere. Like I said, everything's gonna be inflated. You're not gonna see a line at 10.5 on this today. It would probably be 13.5 is my guess. I haven't went line shopping because not all the books have all the bench players out. I will say Onyx Odds does have good bench players. FanDuel doesn't have a lot of their bench players right now released. So that's another thing. Just be patient, guys. Be patient with betting the NBA today. The lines will come out. Don't rush the lines. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, Luke Garza right now, they've got him at over 22.5. Like Bailey Shimmerman, I kind of like him for 15, honestly. I don't know. Let's dive in and see when's the last time Baylor has got 15. It's been a while. He's got the ability to do it. He doesn't do it often, um, but he's going to be the main guy today. I think that he has a good game on the rebound side of things. I think he'll be good for 4 to 6 rebounds, and he should get you 15. So I like this guy here, Baylor Shimmerman, for 15 points more than I like Garza for 20, just from what I'm seeing right now on the books. But Yeah, right now on Onyx odds, they have him for 24 points at plus money, Luke Garza. I'm not sure I'm sold on that one. I would rather take Banchero for 20 at minus 119 than take Garza for 20. Obviously, I know somebody's going to have to score the ball, but once again, that's why we look at this here. I think Banchero is a good play at the PRA at 33 and a half. Wendell Carter, probably not a bad play for points and assists. He should be able to get you 10 points just off of that. And the assist line is real small because he doesn't assist the ball very often. So really, you're looking for him to get you 10 points, which he hasn't really done very often. But once again, there's really no down low presence today for the Celtics. So I would look to see either Carter or Banchero have a big game out of the down low presence here. And maybe even De Silva getting some wide open looks from the big men. And then another spot to maybe take a peek at would be Banchero exceeding his assists. Like Banchero assists the ball fairly well. You know, he's around a 5 to 6 assist guy. But I'm talking about maybe Banchero today does something and he goes for a triple double. Maybe he goes for a double double. I'm not saying that's the case and that's a play I'm recommending, but I wouldn't be surprised if they truly stay competitive and it doesn't turn into an absolute blowout. Banchero will have an opportunity to get his assists up. And if we want to look at what he's done over the course of the season, he's always around that 5 to 6 mark. Now, today he may get some more kickouts. They may double down because there's not as much of a inside presence. But that's just something to keep an eye out on. Guys, when you're using blowout alert, remember there's some different things we can do in here. We can go in here and we can look and see how Banchero has matched up in the past against this team, right? So he actually has an advantage in the matchup. And honestly, I'm a big fan of what Banchero is going to do today. So um, I would continue to just look at everything, go to his hit rate, see how everything is shaping up in today's matchup. It shows you exactly how often he's been hitting his numbers. His average line's 23 on his points. Today it's 19 and a half. I think he exceeds 19 and a half. That is my opinion on Banchero. So guys, go in here, right? When you click on the player's name, you get so much information, matchup, scroll down. It shows you all the points he scored against his team. He's exceeded 20 points over half the time, and he's rebounded the ball fairly well. But once again, no inside presence today. I think he should be good for anywhere between 8 to 10 rebounds. He should have a good game today. That 33 and a half on the over is definitely alive. Spending way too much time on this game. If I was going to lay a number, I would lay the minus 13 with the Magic. All right, let's keep it moving on to this Hawks game. And I'm going to fly through this one. I don't want to spend too much time talking about each prop. I want to give you one or two from each game and then keep it moving. As we go down here and take a look at some of the props, there's a couple that stick out. You know, we might see some unders today if it goes into a blowout. I haven't been a huge fan of what Davion Mitchell's been doing lately. He hasn't been scoring the ball all that well this season, but these last couple games, he did get you 15 and 12 and 21, and he always assists the ball fairly well. So that's what you got to watch out with if you take Davion Mitchell. So I'm not sure I fully agree with the 17 and a half on the underside of things because he could get 8 assists and get 10 points and hit that. So I would fade this one here on the recommendation side of things. Bam Adebayo, on the other hand, is somebody I would highly consider on points and assists. Once again, he doesn't assist the ball all that well, but the last 2 games, they've had the ball in his hand a lot. I like the Bam Adebayo play on points and assists. And then if we wanted to jump on over here and just take a quick peek at what they got going on, Risker for 4 rebounds, maybe you could look at that route, but I like Jaime Jaquez for 10 to 12 points for sure. And then this Bam Adebayo play here. I think the better side to be on today would be the Heat. They have more to play for with home court advantage versus the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks, like I said, they've kind of locked up their seating. They could still sneak in and get the 5 seed. Or sorry, they've pretty much got the 5 seed locked up. They could lose, and Toronto could win and potentially make a push. But I believe the Raptors, the Hawks own that tiebreaker against the Raptors. So I believe the Hawks pretty much got it locked up for the most part as far as seeding goes, but they still need to be competitive today. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Hawks keep it close and competitive. That's why I like Bam Adebayo, because he's going to get full minutes and he should hit that number. He should go for 20 to 25. So just on the points line. All right. But yeah, on this side here, honestly, I think I'm going to lean the Hawks plus 8.5 on this one. as we go down here, we take a look at who they got sitting out. They got everybody sitting out. They're pretty much telling you what they're doing. So then again, I may have to back off of that plus 8.5 because they don't even got Kuminga playing. This is a Miami Heat spot all day, minus 5.5 earlier. Since I was looking at this, I thought to myself, earlier the line was plus 5.5. I thought, man, they're probably going to play for it here because of seeding, but it looks like they're content with where they're at in the seeding race. So I would actually change that here live. I'm not sure if I want the 8.5 in my pocket with that many guys sitting out today. Um, honestly. So I probably would take the Miami even at minus 8.5. I should have grabbed it at minus 5.5 earlier, and that's kind of what you get when you take some gambles here. And that's what the books want you to do. They want you to take some gambles. But look, Miami Heat are going to roll out a bunch of guys. I think Corey Kispert could have a decent little day shooting the ball. He might get an extra couple threes, so that's something to take a look at. Corey Kispert for maybe 3 threes today. That might be a nice play. Muhammad should have a good game. He should rebound the ball well, should get you 15. Points and rebounds is something to keep an eye on with him. This is going to be Risker's biggest role he's had in a long time. So look to Risker, but the books are going to react to Risker. So I would probably look more towards Muhammad or Corey Kispert, as I think they're going to be looking out for Risker to have more of a role today, being that all these other guys are rested. All right. So once again, game lines maybe not be the, or may not be the wave today. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 really good game lines that you want to maybe try and attack. Here, if I was forced to choose a side, probably the minus 8.5 at this point, now that we're seeing this injury report down here with the Hawks. All right. And that's where I'm at on this one, guys. Now I'm going to slide on over to this one here. Hornets. Hornets need this game. I think the Hornets have dropped some easy games here lately, and they're on a 2-game skid. They're in a battle here against the Miami Heat, who I just told you, I think Miami Heat wins it outright. I think they cover the spread. Knicks are resting everybody. Just go ahead and take a look. Anobi, Brunson, Hart, Shemet, Robinson. Even Robinson's resting. Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody's out. You got a fully healthy team here. Give me Brandon Miller's points and rebounds. I think he should get 25 plus 25 points and rebounds. He should rebound the ball well today. Give me Brandon Miller for 20 points and about 5 to 6 rebounds. He may even go over that. He may get you 25 outright on points. Look to LaMelo Ball to exceed his assist average on the year. He averages 6 assists, but I think he'll get about 8 to 10 today. I really think they'll push the pace, push this score up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see LaMelo Ball with a double-double when the game ends. He's going to have another big game, and he's another guy you might want to look at for PRA. And as we slide down here and look at some of the props, they got Knuple for 4 assists, kind of in the middle there. Knuple is kind of right around that number. I think they're going to expect the ball to be pushed and in Knuple and Melo's hands a little bit more. I'm not sold on that one. I am sold on LaMelo Ball for over 20 points. I am sold for Brandon Miller over 15 to 20. And that's where I stand on that one, guys. But 2 of my favorite plays, Brandon Miller points and rebounds on the over, and then LaMelo Ball for 8 assists. And if you want to look at LaMelo Ball's PRA as well, I think he has a big game there. But I'm not scared to lay this number. Hornets need this game. They're on a 2-game losing streak. The Knicks are resting everybody. I know that some of these other guys might get up for the game on the Knicks, like a Jordan Clarkson. I'm sure they're going to react to his line. I think the line to maybe watch is Jose Alvarado for assists. If you wanted to take Jose Alvarado for 4 to 6 assists, I think that might be a spot to take him. Miles McBride looks like he might be making a return here. He's been battling, injury off and on, the last couple months. I don't know how many minutes they truly give him today. I would probably fade Miles McBride in this spot. I think my favorite guy to probably attack would be Jose Alvarado or Jordan Clarkson. I'm not a big Mikal Bridges guy. I mean, he's obviously going to get the volume of shots, but I really like Jose Alvarado for 4 to 6 assists. Yeah, and that's why this app is so important, guys. You can dive in here and really look at everything. You can go back into his matchup history. How's he played against them in the past? He's just always assisted the ball fairly well against them. I know Jose Alvarado's minutes have been cut, obviously getting traded off the Hornets and all, but he's getting older in his career. But yeah, minus 13.5, minus 14. I'm not scared to lay that number with the Hornets today. I think they roll and they win. I think they win by 20, all right, in Madison Square Garden. Guys, next one up, man. Next one up. I really think that this is a big game. This is probably one of the bigger games today as far as the East goes, because this is where it truly matters. I think the Raptors need to win today. The Sixers need to win today. then the Magic need to win today. All three of those teams are eyeing a win, a certain win. And I think that's out of the East today. Those are going to be outside of, I mean, that's the thing. I thought the Hawks and Heat game might have been more competitive. And then we see that injury report, the pre-injury report right now, and they're resting everybody. Um, so I don't know if this game's going to be competitive with the Bucks. I think the Sixers do roll and they cover this spread. I think maybe there might be an outside chance, with, you know, the Giannis brothers coming off the bench and all that. They have some energy, but look, Ryan Rollins isn't playing. Kevin Porter, everybody's out. They've got a healthy team over here on the Sixers. Sixers should roll. If I'm you guys and I want to bet these spreads, I would just take an alt line to like 3 points down. So, give me the 76ers minus 12, give me the Hornets minus 11, and give me the Heat -5. Give me the Magic -10. Do a little alt line parlay like that or something, or pair them up as two legs. That's kind of my recommendation to you guys if you want to take game lines today. Vegas is obviously going to juice both sides because they're trying to protect themselves in this situation with the uncertainty and all of the players sitting out. So, with that said, though, a couple plays I do like off the 76ers. I like Paul George's points and rebounds. Look, he's at 24 and a half. It jumped. It was at 23 and a half earlier. He's been scoring right around 20. He can get you anywhere between 4 to 6 rebounds. They're going to need him to have a decent game today. He's going to need to shoot the ball well. I think you should look to him for 3 threes as well. Paul George, big spot for him. I don't even mind you taking him for a first basket today. Keep your eyes on Paul George, first basket, over the points and rebounds. And yeah, man, that's where I'm at on this one. And keep an eye on Edgecombe as well for 2 threes made today. I think Edgecombe's been shooting the ball much better. Look at all these threes he's been making as of late. His line's just slightly around -130-ish. So give me that, man. VJ Edgecombe, 2 threes. I like that play a lot. Big thing to keep in mind here is you see the blowout alerts. We got a lot of blowouts on the radar today. So that means some of these guys that you take with bigger numbers like Banchero, if that's not a competitive game, he might not hit that PRA at 33.5 on the over. He might get somewhere around 27 and they bench him. So that's just something to be wary of when you're taking some of the bigger prop lines. And that's why I was like, okay, Garza for 22, that seems a little pricey. I may fade Garza for 22. Give me Baylor Shimmerman on this side for the Celtics to pick up some more scoring for 15. I'd rather have that number, which is going to be easier to reach and be more attainable. But yeah, lay the 15 with the 76ers. They need this win. And this is why I think some of these teams are resting as well, like the Hawks. I think the Hawks kind of realize, look, the 76ers are getting an easy matchup with everybody resting against the Bucks. 76ers are going to win. And it's the same thing with the um the Magic. I think they're looking at, okay, the Celtics. The Magic are going to beat the Celtics. The Celtics are resting everybody. So I think what they're looking at is, hey, we're the Hawks. We've got this lead. It's really not going to impact us because the teams that would need to win lose isn't going to happen. The shakeout as far as what's going to happen to move the seeding. So I think that's why we're seeing the Hawks rest so many guys today. And then obviously the Knicks locked up the 3 seed. We already know that. All right. So then we'll move in. We're not even going to touch some of these other games here. They're not worth betting. If you want to look at some bench players, go for it. Like out of this game, look at how many people are out. It's all red. There's nobody playing. It's all bench players. And that's why this application comes in so fucking handy, guys. You can jump in here and really dive in and see what's DeAndre Jordan done. Nothing. But guys, he's going to get minutes today. He's going to get minutes. And then you can kind of come over here and be like, all right, Jordan Hawkins. Let's see what Jordan Hawkins has done. I think Jordan Hawkins is the spot play, right? Like he's the guy I want to play today. Like give me Jordan Hawkins. He just got 20 and 25. Yeah, let me ride this wave. Give me Jordan Hawkins for 20, 25 points today. I don't think it's Jeremiah Fears. I think Jordan Hawkins is the guy today. They're going to inflate Fears' lines. Give me Hawkins. So these are all things as we're working through the process and I go to make my plays here in about 3 hours. I'm going to remember some of these things. Let me look at Jordan Hawkins. Let me look at, Derek Queen's rebounding now. Look, his rebounding, he hadn't been getting the minutes. Now he's getting the minutes, rebounding's back up, right? So something to keep an eye on, Derek Queen's rebounding. All right, that's just something to keep in mind. All right, wrapping it up here with the last couple games. Let's jump on over to the Nuggets, to me, which is the smelliest fucking game of the day. As we scroll down here, look at the injury report. Shows us Braun's out, Gordon's out, Jones is out, Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway, Jamal Murray, and Peyton Watson. Nikola Jokic, questionable. Guys, what this is telling me right now is The Denver Nuggets are going to lay down. They are not going to compete in this game. That's my opinion. They've already ruled out all of those other guys. They are not concerned with winning this game. The seeding to them, whether they're third or fourth, obviously doesn't make a difference on what side of the bracket they're on. So to me, I think that I want to fade this game now. I'm not going to bet any type of money line or any type of spread on this one. Um, you got your top three players here questionable other than Fox. Now I like Fox for 6 assists. If Fox does not play, or if Wimby does not play, Vessel does not play, I think Stefan Castle misses today. But I do believe these two guys end up suiting up. I really do. I think Vessel and Wimby end up playing. But if for some reason all those three guys end up missing, I would kind of keep an eye on De'Aaron Fox here on his points and rebounds. Reason being is that points and rebounds number is going to be lower versus the points and assist number. And if all his role players are out, he may not get as many assists as he normally does. I do like him for 6 assists, even without those guys. But like we just jump on in here and look at the matchup history 14, 27, 15, 17, 29, 30, 15, 26. He's actually played really well against this team. I don't think he's going to struggle at all. He's going to get his assist, and he's even going to get some rebounds. He rebounds the ball fairly well. He's only had one bad rebounding game, truly. So I would look to his points and rebounds if you guys wanted to play De'Aaron Fox tonight. Now let's jump on down here and see what it's given us. It's not giving us a lot here, but I'm in an agreement that he'll favor probably more towards the 20 side. And the problem is this: I think that this is one you got to be careful with De'Aaron Fox, is because they do have a lot of role players they can lean on, right? You've got Dylan Harper, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, all these guys you can lean on. Like a Keldon Johnson might be the right play here for 20, right? 20 and 6, 20 and 8. Like Keldon Johnson might be the play, or like a Dylan Harper here for 15 to 20 with 6 to 8 assists. Like I think those are the three guys you want to stare down. Maybe Harrison Barnes for 3 threes today. You know, he takes his fair shot of attempts, or 2 threes at least. So I think these are your three guys to focus on player props on this side of things. Over here, Valanciunas, he should pick up some of those rebounds that obviously the Joker gets, and we saw that just last game. So yeah, Valanciunas on the rebound side of things. Bruce Brown, he's always been shaky on offense. I think I would rather look towards maybe like a Jalen Pickett to have a decent little game. Now, if we go back to when Jalen Pickett was getting a couple minutes here earlier in the year, he was good for 10 and kind of a mid-pack rebounding. So maybe you could look to him for like 4 rebounds, 10 points, 15 points. But yeah, that's where I would go in this game as far as player props go. I really wanted to take the plus 11.5. It felt like too many points for the Nuggets, but just seeing this, it's telling me that they're going to lay down and they're not going to compete. So, or they think that these guys are good enough to hang with these guys. I just don't believe that. So at this point, I would say lay the 11.5. I think the Spurs are going to come after their ass and continue to run up their regular season record. Now, here we go into the Lakers game. Lakers are playing for that same type of seeding, 3-4 seed with the Nuggets. Ace Bailey, Bryce Sensabaugh, John Concher. John Concher's been actually rebounding the ball really well. I would look at his rebounds straight up. I wouldn't go anywhere else. Looks like they're going to be without. We already know they're going to be without these guys. Looks like they may be without Hayes. LeBron James, I think, is going to end up playing. If he doesn't, then I think this thing sways in the favor of the Jazz covering the spread. They're probably going to end up losing and the Lakers end up winning, but that spread may be in play at plus 14.5, especially if LeBron James misses. So that's something I would keep an eye on, is that plus 14.5 for the Jazz. That could be very well alive if LeBron James sits out. Now, I like Marcus Smart for a steal tonight. I think Marcus Smart for a steal is a pretty good play. He typically can get you 1 to 2. If you look at all the games he plays in, he normally always gets a steal. So he has missed some games lately, but he bounced back. If LeBron James misses tonight, he's going to have a bigger role. I would look for him to get you anywhere between 1 to 3 steals today. And he should also get you anywhere between 4 to 6 rebounds and an assist as well. He should be a guy you should eyeball in PRA, honestly. Maybe not so much on the points, maybe just rebounds and assists. So that's something I would take a look at. Now let's take a look at what it's recommending us on the prop side of things. LeBron James for 2 threes. I actually kind of like that. I think he will shoot a couple extra threes than he normally would. On the DFS side, LeBron should be good for 6 to 8 assists. once again, Marcus Smart for at least 1 steal. Those are probably some of my favorite plays. Ace Bailey, he's definitely getting you 15 to 20 today. So those are some plays out of the Lakers game for player props that you guys can take with you. All right. Now, wrapping it up, guys, we got 2 more games left, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to watch the Masters, man. I'm hoping Roy McIlroy pulls through. I would love to see him go back to back, get 2 green jackets, man. So let's see where that shakes out. But wrapping it up, we got the Clippers game. Now, this is a true battle. There's no resting in this one here, because the Clippers and the Trailblazers, it is about who's going to be in the play-in game. If either of these teams lose, it's for the play-in game. And if they both win now, I believe the Clippers hold the tiebreaker. Let me just double check that. I believe the Clippers hold the tiebreaker. Yeah, it looks like the Clippers hold the tiebreaker there. So if they end up tying tonight, I believe Clippers are going to end up getting the 8th seed. But this is a big matchup for these guys. So as we dive into this one, they're playing the Warriors. They blew the Warriors out in Intuit Dome last time the Warriors came in there, but the Warriors jumped out on their ass early. Warriors were up 20, and the Clippers came back and won. Kawhi had a massive game against them. It does look like Steph Curry's a go tonight, which should be a little concerning. But Kawhi Leonard, he should play. I know he's dealing with some stuff, but Kawhi Leonard should be a go tonight. Steph Curry is a go as well. That does make me question that plus 6.5. The Warriors have clinched up the play-in. They can't move anywhere. So this game is meaningless to the Warriors. They're going to be in the play-in. I think that it's a matter of, do they want to play the Clippers in the play-in? Or would they rather play the Trailblazers? So I think that's the type of effort you get out of um, the Warriors tonight. And maybe the Warriors think they match up better with the Clippers. And I personally think they do. So I think we see a very competitive game out of the Golden State Warriors tonight. They really try and bring it. But I really can't put my eggs in the basket of the Golden State Warriors. I just can't do it. I believe that this team here with the Clippers at the Intuit Dome, where they are 22 and 18. They have a significantly better record. They're a hard team to beat there. Even though they've lost 18 times this year, they play very competitive in the Intuit Dome. I got to lay the minus 6.5 with the Clippers. I would rather alt line that down to like a minus 5.5, so I get like a flat 6 that still pays me. So go ahead and give me the Clippers here on a minus 5.5, guys. Minus 6.5 if you really want to play the line at minus 110. But I'll take my minus 128 at minus 5.5, and that's where I'll go. Los Angeles Clippers. With Chris Dunn for 2 steals. There you go. That's a little 2-leg parlay. Go Chris Dunn for 2 steals. Go Marcus Smart for 2 steals. Little 2-leg West Coast parlay. All right. And then Kawhi Leonard for 8 rebounds. He's been rebounding the ball really well lately. Let's dive into that, because if Kawhi Leonard does indeed play tonight, which he should, where is it? I don't have his little drop down here. Normally they got Kawhi Leonard's drop down there, but we can just click right here and take a look at it. 8 rebounds, 8, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8, 8, 6. He's right in that range. I think he has 8 tonight. It's at plus money. He needs it. Chris Dunn for 2 steals. Um, yeah, man, that's where I'm at on this one. This game here, Portland Trailblazers are going to win. They're going to win by 30. They're going to beat the living hell out of this team. Look, you got a full block of guys resting. They're telling you, hey, we're not playing. We're not going to be competitive. These guys are going to roll. Look to Donovan Clingan to have a big game. He's going to have anywhere between 10 to 14 rebounds a night. I would play the middle number at 12. I think he also has a double-double. He's been playing really good ball as of late. There's nobody on that interior that can guard this guy. And I think they've kind of realized that. If they can just get him running the floor, they can kick it back to him. Easy big dunks. He's a big, strong center at 7'2". I think he has a great game. Another spot to keep an eye on is Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday could have a nice game. He had a quiet game last game, but other than that, he's played really solid over the stretch of this last month. I think you could look to Drew Holiday for points and rebounds, or even points and assists on the over side of things. PRA I'm not in love with for Drew Holiday because he needs to have a complete game. I'm not sure if that's the game I'm leaning towards from him, but I'm really a big fan of Clingan in this spot. Now we want to slide down here and take a look at some props. They do have Clingan for points and assists. I think I agree with that for the most part, but I'd rather just take Clingan for a double-double at that point because I know he's going to get 10 rebounds. So, but the points and assists, it's within reach. I mean, he can get you that flat off of just points. So I don't mind you playing that as well at the 14 and a half. As far as Drew Holiday, we talked about his PRA at 25 and a half. I don't hate that, actually. It seems like a little bit low of a number. I was expecting that to probably be around 28. So with that around 25 and a half, I don't mind the Drew Holiday play there either, guys. So if we want to just take a quick peek at it, he would have hit it here. He would have hit it here. Really all these games throughout the last month other than the last game. So the Drew Holiday PRA and then the Domin Clingan are probably my two favorite props out of this one. Don't be scared to lay the number. I think that they roll in this one. They win by 30. They should cover the minus 17 here, the Portland Trailblazers at home. So give me the Portland Trailblazers as a big spot play here for me for these guys. That's it, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. This is the Blowout Alert. Um, it will be posted. You can tune in later. You guys need to go download this app. I post it. The link is below in the descriptions. All my links, if you want my premium plays, sequence plays, you can click the link, buy through Winible, link to my Telegram, all of that in the description below, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Blowout Alert, book the one way, and let's cash some on this run it up and relax Sunday. Let's have a day. Cheers. Let's have one.